The golden age of Hollywood was a time of glamour, mystery, and larger-than-life personalities. But behind the glitz and the silver screen, many actors lived secret lives, shielding parts of their identities from the public eye. In an era when being openly gay could end a career, these trailblazing stars navigated fame while staying true to themselves in private. Who were these brave icons, and how did they shape Hollywood history despite the odds? Join us as we uncover the untold stories of olden-age actors who defied the norms of their time. Katharine Hepburn, one of Hollywood's most revered actresses and a four-time Academy Award winner for performances in classics like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, The Lion in Winter, and On Golden Pond, has long been celebrated for her trailblazing career and fiercely independent spirit. However, her personal life has been the subject of much speculation, with claims suggesting her romantic interests extended beyond the image carefully crafted by Hollywood studios. Scotty Bowers, a controversial figure and self-described Hollywood fixer, brought new layers to Hepburn's enigmatic persona in his memoir Full Service. According to Bowers, Hepburn often sought his help to discreetly find female companions, reportedly requesting, "When you get a chance, do you think you can find a nice young dark-haired girl for me? Someone that's not too heavily made up." Over 5 decades, Bowers claimed to have introduced Hepburn to over 150 women, describing her as someone who rarely saw the same woman more than once or twice. Despite these claims, which remain unverified, they paint a picture of Hepburn as a woman unapologetically exploring her personal desires in an era that demanded secrecy. Simultaneously, the public narrative of Hepburn's life leaned heavily on her supposed romance with co-star Spencer Tracy. Their on-screen chemistry in films like Adam's Rib and Pat and Mike was legendary, and the studio promoted their relationship as a timeless love story. Yet many insiders have alleged this was more fabrication than fact. Screenwriter and activist Larry Kramer once asserted, Hepburn and Tracy were both gay. They were publicly paired together by the studio. Everyone in Hollywood knows this is true, but of course, I haven't seen it printed anywhere. While Tracy and Hepburn undoubtedly shared a deep and enduring bond, those close to them suggest it was rooted more in friendship and mutual respect than romance. The duo became symbols of old Hollywood glamour, but beneath the surface, their lives may have been far more complex and private than the glossy studio narratives allowed. Rock Hudson, the quintessential Hollywood heartthrob and one of the most celebrated actors of his era, remains an enduring symbol of classic Hollywood glamour and hidden truths. Known for his dashing good looks and magnetic screen presence in films like Pillow Talk and Giant, Hudson was the epitome of the leading man in the 1950s and 60s. Yet behind his carefully constructed public persona lay a private life shaped by secrecy and societal pressures. Hudson's homosexuality was a closely guarded secret throughout much of his career, thanks to the maneuvering of his shrewd yet morally ambiguous agent, Henry Wilson. In an era when being openly gay could destroy a career, Wilson orchestrated elaborate cover-ups to protect Hudson's image as Hollywood's ultimate ladies' man. When the Scandal magazine Confidential threatened to reveal Hudson's sexual orientation, Wilson struck a deal by sacrificing another of his clients, Tab Hunter, disclosing details of Hunter's arrest and distracting attention from Hudson. To further quash the rumors, Wilson arranged for Hudson to marry his secretary, Phyllis Gates, in 1955. The union lasted only 3 years, and while Gates publicly portrayed herself as an unsuspecting wife who later felt betrayed, some accounts suggest she may have known about Hudson's sexuality all along. Regardless, the marriage served its purpose as a smokescreen during a time when Hollywood demanded conformity and punished deviation. In 1984, Hudson was diagnosed with HIV at a time when little was understood about the disease, and misinformation and stigma were rampant. Initially, efforts were made to keep his diagnosis private, but as his health visibly declined, speculation grew. Hudson ultimately became the first major celebrity to publicly reveal he had AIDS, a moment that profoundly shifted public perception of the disease. His announcement brought unprecedented attention to the AIDS crisis, helping to humanize the epidemic and galvanize awareness and activism. Hudson passed away in 1985, leaving behind a legacy as both a Hollywood icon and an unlikely pioneer in the fight against AIDS. His courage in the face of public scrutiny and personal suffering revealed a vulnerability that endeared him even more to fans, marking a poignant contrast to the larger-than-life roles he portrayed on screen. Today, Hudson is remembered not only as a symbol of old Hollywood's golden age, but also as a quiet trailblazer who, despite the constraints of his time, left an indelible mark on both cinema and society. Cesar Romero, the suave Cuban-American actor with his signature mustache and commanding stature, carved a niche for himself as one of Hollywood's most versatile leading men. Known for his impeccable charm and elegance, Romero shared the screen with legendary stars like Marlene Dietrich and Carole Lombard, leaving an indelible mark on the golden age of cinema. Beyond his dashing persona, he cultivated close friendships within the industry, including a lifelong bond with the iconic Joan Crawford. Romero's career spanned over 6 decades, but he is perhaps most remembered for his colorful and charismatic portrayal of the Joker in the 1966 Batman television series and film. His exaggerated, manic energy and devilish grin brought a playful edge to the villain, making him a fan favorite and setting a standard for future interpretations of the role. Despite the campy nature of the series, Romero's performance exuded sophistication, and his refusal to shave his trademark mustache, opting instead to paint over it, became a quirky hallmark of his Joker persona. While Romero dazzled audiences on screen, he kept his personal life discreet, particularly his sexuality. Within the tight-knit circles of Hollywood, Romero was known to be open and comfortable about being gay, sharing his truth with trusted friends and colleagues. However, he chose to maintain a private public image, navigating the conservative societal norms and intense scrutiny of his era with grace. This decision allowed him to sustain a successful career while avoiding the scandal that could have jeopardized his livelihood in a less accepting time. Cary Grant, one of Hollywood's most celebrated heartthrobs, remains an enigmatic figure whose charm and screen presence captivated audiences for decades. Known for his debonair demeanor in classics like North by Northwest and To Catch a Thief, Grant's personal life was as compelling as his on-screen persona. Recent revelations, particularly through the documentary Women He's Undressed and the memoir of Australian costume designer Ori Kelly, suggest that the Hollywood icon led a complex life, shaped by societal pressures and private struggles with his identity. Grant, born Archibald Leach, rose from humble beginnings in vaudeville to become one of the most sought-after leading men of his time. According to the documentary and Kelly's memoir, Grant was not only romantically involved with women, but also had a long-term, tumultuous relationship with Ori Kelly. Their connection, which spanned over 3 decades, was reportedly fraught with tension, largely due to Grant's need to conform to Hollywood's rigidly homophobic studio system. This pressure led him to publicly suppress his bisexuality and cultivate a more socially acceptable image, often through high-profile marriages and relationships with women. Kelly, an acclaimed costume designer who won 3 Academy Awards, is said to have grown increasingly resentful of Grant's tendency to seek out blonde actresses, which reportedly strained their bond. Their relationship, while passionate, became volatile, marked by episodes of abuse fueled by Grant's internalized self-loathing and confusion. One particularly harrowing incident, detailed by writer Katherine Thompson in the documentary, involved a heated argument that culminated in Grant allegedly throwing Kelly out of a moving car, a moment emblematic of the darker side of their connection. Tab Hunter was the quintessential Hollywood heartthrob of the 1950s, discovered at just 17 years old and quickly molded into a box office idol. With his chiseled features, piercing eyes, and magnetic charm, he became the embodiment of the all-American leading man, often cast as the handsome soldier or the object of leading ladies' affections. But while Hunter's on-screen roles captured the adoration of young female fans, the truth of his personal life was carefully hidden behind the glittering facade of Hollywood's golden age. Hunter's immense popularity stemmed more from his looks and charisma than his acting prowess, yet his appeal made him a household name. Despite his sunny public persona, Hunter struggled with the reality of his identity in a world where homosexuality was both professionally and socially taboo. In his own words, he felt painfully isolated, stranded between the casual homophobia of most normal people and the flagrantly gay Hollywood subculture, where he, was even less comfortable and less accepted. This tension was heightened by an incident in 1950, before Hunter found fame, when he was arrested at a party frequented by gay men. Years later, this past indiscretion was used as leverage by his own agent, Henry Wilson, who traded the information to Confidential magazine in exchange for shielding Rock Hudson, Wilson's more prominent client, from a similar exposé. The incident exemplified the ruthless lengths Hollywood insiders went to in order to protect stars' reputations while sacrificing others. Despite the pressure and secrecy, Hunter maintained his status as a major star well into the 1960s, earning acclaim for films such as Damn Yankees, and dabbling in a brief but successful music career. Off-screen, he had a long-term relationship with fellow actor Anthony Perkins, known for his iconic role in Psycho. Their romance, like so many others in the Hollywood closet, was hidden from the public eye, adding another layer of complexity to Hunter's double life.